Mantra number 12 of Anuvaka number 2. Nama Uchchair Ghoshaya Akrandayate Pattinam Pataye Namaha. So this is salutations to Uchchaihi Ghoshaya, one who makes a very loud noise. Uchchaihi means at a pitch, high pitch. Akrandayate means one who makes the enemies weep. And then Pattinam Pataye Namaha. Pattinam in Vedic Sanskrit is those who are walking. That means the foot soldiers. Padati, foot soldiers. To them. So, very interestingly, in if you have noticed, in the military, the commands are given very, very loud. So the commander or, for example, whoever is giving the exercises, he will shout at the top of his voice. And when somebody is standing near the near his superior, and the superior gives an order, and the one who is receiving the order agrees to that, he will shout at the top of his voice, "Yes, sir." So you can see this is also related to the military nature of Shiva. And then in this mantra, the exact interpretation is the Senapatitvam. That means the characteristic of Shiva being the commander-in-chief of the army of gods. And as you know, in the Upanishads, gods are none other than our own senses. The sense organs are our gods. And then he is the leader. And every time the sense organ faces a challenge, it gives out a loud cry. The loud cry need not be vocal, it need not be just sound. So, for example, if we are startled, we will open our eyes like that. Or when somebody comes in our space, then, so all those are actually the Uchchair Ghosha, and the defensive way is also Akrandana. There are something deeper than that. There's something deeper than that is a person in authority, by just slightly raising the voice, is able to modify the conduct and behavior of the other person. So this is called as Hunkara Matrena. For example, a father, parent, mother, by just raising the voice, means the child will stop in its tracks. So that also is through Shiva only. Now, then in that case, we talked about a lot of weaponry and all that for Shiva. We really need for Ishvara to wield weapons? So the answer is not really. Actually, Ishvara, he rules over and prevails over the enemies, we know very well, in different ways. A mere glance at Manmatha, he was reduced to ashes. So we will also see later on, Agre Vadhaya cha Dure Vadhaya cha. Shiva and Ishvara need not necessarily come into a hand-to-hand combat. He can do it at a distance. He can also show grace from a distance. So we know the very famous story of Lord Sri Krishna, who was in Dwaraka, and Draupadi, who was being disrobed in Hastinavati, a distance of probably about 1500 miles, and then he was able to grant her an endless robe, an endless cloth. So we will take it as a metaphorical idea. But we also see in our own lives, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, for the doubting, questioning, skeptical Vivekananda, after all his trial to explain to him, finally he just put his hand on Vivekananda. That was it. That was the transformative power. So for a great yogi, for a person who has done such deep meditation, by a glance, we have seen Maunam Vyakhya, for example, in Shiva, he need not even talk. but all your doubts will be gone. So that such is the presence of human beings who have attained some certain level. And what about the Lord himself? And then we have also seen Ramana Maharshi. He would just be lying there smiling. That's it. And people would go to him and all doubts would be gone. So let's come back a little closer in our life. A wife will probably just look at you and the husband is completely chastised. Have you noticed that a wife can control her husband like that, but not the children? Right? What is the difference? For the children, you need Uchchair Ghoshaya. So to control the children, you have got to raise your voice. To control the husband, you need to raise your eyebrows.
Looks like that must be the old age children, right? Now you shout, children will shout back.
That's
even there the grey can be somewhere.
exactly. She can be in India. Agre Vadaya means this is it. That's so true. Mantra number 30. Namah Kritsna Vitaya Dhavate Sattvanam Pataye Namaha. Kritsna means the entire universe, Jagat. Everything, all, that's the meaning. So Kritsna Vita means one who pervades all. Kritsnam Jagat Nitam, who is the substrate, Adhishtanam Iti. It also means Antaryami, that is the indweller. Dhavate, that means he rushes, he runs. This Lord, who is all pervasive with the entire creation, rushes and runs to protect the devotee. So this is the famous story of Markandeya. Since all of you know this story, I don't repeat it. Markandeya was a young child. He was the son of sage Mrukandu, and then also Marudmati was his wife's name. So if you just Google Markandeya story, you will get that. There are a couple of interesting things. You know, when you are doing the Gayatri Japa and then you are doing the Sandhya, the concept of death or the news of the death that doesn't touch. If we get the news that somebody who is very near relative has passed away, and if you are doing the Gayatri Japa, that news which will create the grief and which also has got some other religious connotations will not touch you until you finish the japa. So once you have done the sankalpa, let us say you have done the vow sankalpa to do 108 or 1008 Gayatri Japa. Until you finish your sankalpa, whatever that news is there, it will be waiting. It will not come and catch you. So in Hindu religious practice we have the Mrita Shaucha. Ashaucha means it comes and for a few days you got to observe certain rules. All of those things will be kept in abeyance. This depends on, this is based on the story of Markandeya only. So therefore, what we do is, another part of the religious practice, on special festival days, when you take a bath, so what you could do is when you apply soap or when you apply a little bit of oil, when you are taking a oil massage bath or something, you can actually chant Om Namah Shivaya, and you can also chant Ashwathamo Balir Vyasaha Hanumamscha there are 7 immortals: Ashwathama, Bali, Vyasa, Hanuman, Vibhishana, Kripa, Parashurama. Especially when you are giving a bath to the child, so we chant this blessing. So when you are giving a bath to the child, you say that like all these 7, you also be immortal. So with that blessing, you give a bath. And we also have studied elsewhere, Yasya Chaya Amritam, Yasya Mrityuhu Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. You may remember that many days back, I had commented on Hiranyagarbhas Samavartata Agre. It may be there somewhere in your archives. So there is a question. If Lord Shiva is all-pervading and everywhere, and he is the indweller, so he is the indweller. He is also all-pervading. So why did the sage here say Dhavate? He runs to the rescue. So how do you reconcile one who is everywhere and you say that he is going to run to your rescue? It is because the all-pervasiveness also indicates if you are not aware, he is far away. So why do we cry for help? Because we think that the Lord is far away. Therefore we cry for help. But once you are aware that he is everywhere and he is in me also, that means you are constantly meditating on Ishvara. He is very close. Can you remember the Upanishad Vakya for this? Taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadus sarvasya bahyataha Ishavasya Upanishad. So this exactly is a commentary on the Ishavasya Upanishad mantra. Then, so if he is all-pervading and if he is also an indweller, anything all-pervading need not go anywhere. Not only that, it will not go anywhere because there is no a second place to move to, isn't it? But then why does he say Dhavate? Again, Ishavasya Upanishad, Yadejati, Yannejati, Yat ejati, that which moves, Yannejati, that which does not move. So you can see by using Namah Kritsnavitaya Dhavate, by using those two phrases, entire Ishavasya Upanishad is covered in 2 beautiful phrases here. Taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya. Sattvanam pataye namaha. Sattvanam means we would normally interpret Sattvanam as one who has got the highest amount of Sattva Guna. Since we are talking about the Upanishad, the nature of Ishvara being the indweller and Parabrahman only, so this Sattvanam Pataye Namaha has to be interpreted differently. Vivekinam Pataye Namaha, a person who is Sattvika in this context is one who has got discrimination between what is real and unreal. So we have to be very careful whenever we translate some of these Vedic mantras. Always we have to translate it contextually. There will be so many meanings, but we have to choose the appropriate meaning. So Dhavate, he runs to us. Then how does he make sure that it is I who is crying? Because in the world so many people are crying and I am the one who is crying. How does he come to me only? So there is in Vedic logic called Nyaya, there is a Nyaya called Go Vatsa Nyaya. Go Vatsa Nyaya means Vatsam Gauriva Gaurishaha Dhavantam Anudhavati. Just as the cow, if it sees its calf in distress, even in a herd of 10,000 cows, it will go chasing its calf and then tries to protect its calf. just like that Gaurisha, when we cry, he will come and actually protect us. So that is why we also can be sure that when we cry for help, he is definitely going to come to us only and will not lose his way. So there are three important points in this mantra. One is destruction of the enemies. Number one, Shatrunashana. Number two, that he is actually tied to his devotee. That means the devotee can actually arrest within himself Ishvara, Vashikarana. And the third one is getting all the benefits, material benefits, Aishwarya Labha. These three are there. So with this mantra, we conclude our study of the second Anuvaka, having 13 mantras. And the Rishi of this 13 mantras is Manduka Rishi. Mahagayatri is the Chandas and Rudra is the Devata. So next week we will take up Anuvaka number 3.